What's up? What's up? What's up, family? Hello, beautiful people. Well, this is not Tuesdays with Tamoa, but it is Wednesday and it's the middle of the week. And so, I still got to come on, even though I didn't make yesterday. We're still good. I am so happy to be with you tonight. And we're just going to get into it because I have been thinking about this all day. I call myself a recovering avoider, right? It's still things that sometimes happen in my life that I feel like I avoid. But what I do know is that I am not where I used to be, and I am way better than I used to be because now I get these little alerts when it comes to avoiding. And that might be emotional struggles, that might be avoiding dealing with situations in relationships, that might be avoiding situations regards to trauma. And of course, you know what I'm talking about. Really avoiding is our financial situations, our financial trauma. So avoidance is a direct response, usually to some sort of trauma, to some sort of history that, had us feel sometimes questioning ourselves, sometimes questioning our self worth, sometimes questioning our values, sometimes just things that would make us fearful to really want to face. And so I really wanted to talk about that. Um, Specifically when it comes to financial trauma. I know that when it came to bills, when it came to feeling overwhelmed regarding financial stress, um, I would avoid everything. Specifically when it comes to credit, right? Like when you don't have enough money to pay the bills and you're late on something, and then you're late on something else, and then you have to pay your lights, right? You have to pay your water. Things just they snowball. You got to pay your rent, got to pay your car note. There's things that you have to, if you have children, there's things that you have to take care of. But those things end up snowballing, and it creates a cycle of avoidance because normally the stress becomes, or the trauma, however you want to phrase it, it becomes so overwhelming that sometimes just not looking at it, not dealing with it, is a way that our brain sometimes responds when it comes to trauma. A lot of times the avoidance actually protects us. Like it protects our brains, it protects us from, oh, let's see. Hold on, everybody. Something is definitely going on with my live, and I'm not sure what it is. I want to make sure, give me 1 second. I want to make sure that my live is actually working because we do know that last week I was having issues, and it's starting to look the same way that it did last week where we recorded the live and then nothing was happening. So let me just double check this. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that we are actually live because it doesn't quite look like it. So let's see what we got going on right now. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, perfect. We are live. Okay, so I'm back. Let's see. Okay, perfect. We are live. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, so back to, our credit and the things that go on in our lives, and the fact that the way that avoidance shows up a lot of times in our life is our brains have to protect itself, right? So because sometimes the things that we're dealing with, the stress, the overwhelming drama, the trauma, um, it's a response that happens, so it can kind of like protect us mentally, it can protect us spiritually, it can protect us physically. And while our bodies are geared to protect us, right, when we're going through problems, when we're going through financial stress, when we're going through relationship stress, whatever it is, it could be grief. At some point, sometimes that protection can turn into something that is no longer serving us. So the things in our lives that we are avoiding, at some point, we have to start facing them. What happens is if we continue to avoid those things, they show up in other ways in our lives that don't serve us. They show up in our behaviors. They show up in the way we deal with our relationships. Those trauma responses, those things that get triggered because we avoid them, it shows up in our lives in a negative way. So, when I think about, I'm gonna go back to finances and credit. So for me, what happened is when I was going through a really, really rough time financially, um, and I ended up filing for bankruptcy when I was married, it was because of so much overwhelming avoidance because I was so stressed about our finances. It wasn't that, even at that time, both of us were working. I believe at that time, yeah, I was going to school. I went back to school because I wanted to get my degree in therapy and get my master's degree. And we were doing all the things. We had 3 kids, and we were doing every single thing we knew how to do. But for me, based on what happened to me when I was a child and wanting to control all of the money because I didn't want to lose everything, I didn't want to go through the financial heartache that I went through when I was a kid. I wasn't sharing the information with my spouse. I just wanted to control it all because I put the burden on myself. And in doing that, the overwhelming feeling of guilt, of shame, everything that happened in my past, the trauma, all those things I connected to myself when it came to my money mindset, it showed up, it blew up, and I just avoided everything. So collections came, the bill collectors were calling. I was making late payments past 30 days. My credit was being affected. Not paying the car note because we frankly didn't have it. But when I go back to all of those things, um, I think about the fact that we weren't communicating. It wasn't that when I think about it, I expect some magical like pot of money to appear to make things better. But the fact of the matter is, it wasn't just about the money that we didn't have. It was about the fact that we were in like silos, like we were in 2 different places, not talking about what was impacting us with our finances in the home that we lived in. We could talk about the kids, we could talk about, what we were having for dinner, we could talk about, hanging out with family, but we were not talking about the money, about something that seriously impacted us day to day. We'd work 8 to 12 hours a day to collect money, working for someone else, but we weren't talking about it. And that was an issue. Um, so had we communicated better, I'm not saying that things wouldn't have been challenging for us financially, but 2 heads, 2 brains are better than one, right? To take on all the stress and for my ex-husband to trust me that much, yes, that was great. Thank you for trusting me so much. But it was to a deficit for the both of us because, again, I took on all of the weight and it was not fair to either one of us. So, again, when we avoid, it produces a certain trauma response. And the longer we avoid, whether that's doing things in our lives, actionable steps that we need to take to feel better, to heal, whether that's regarding our money traumas, whether that's regarding our relationship traumas, whether that's regarding anything in our lives, it shows up in ways that do not serve us in the long run. It may not be in the immediate, but certainly in the long term, it will show up. It will show up in our kids, our responses, the habits, the way that they see our behaviors. It will show up in them. We cannot escape it. It's not something that you need to beat yourself up about, right? It's just actually once you realize that you're avoiding and you're actually acknowledging it and you're actually taking accountability and you're actually wanting to show up different, that is when you embrace it and you give yourself grace for it, because you don't know what you don't know. But once you know, then I feel like it is our duty, it is our responsibility to become intentional and find a way to make a change, find a way to heal ourselves. And that looks so different for so many people. But this is why I have this channel. This is why I care so much, because most people that resonate with me, like, I've been there. I understand. I know exactly what you've been through, what you're going through, but I also know that there is so much power, there is so much resiliency, there is so much strength on the other side of the avoidance once we start facing things together. You cannot sit in it alone and just think that you're the only one going through things in life, thinking that you're just stuck in it. It's only because nobody wants to talk about it. And that's out of shame, out of guilt, out of fear, out of, wanting to be judged for avoiding our financial issues, avoiding our emotional trauma, avoiding talking about the things that really impacted us, that, that were really painful in life. And so I always say this is like, time out for the suffering, time out, for the sickness cycle. Like, at some point we have to stop. It doesn't mean that we're not going to experience challenges in life. Like, I'm moving through all kinds of things right now. It's not that these things aren't showing up, but it's that I just have decided to take on another way of handling it. It doesn't mean that, I don't get down, that, I don't have, sometimes I have to do more mindset shifting than I used to. It's just that I don't allow it to have me down like it was before. I don't let a depression like set in and take me, and anxiety. I just find a way to move through it differently, because I know that it's temporary. It's not permanent. Even though in the moments of the deepest pain, of the deepest way that I'm feeling, it feels like it's going to attack me forever. The fact of the matter, it's temporary. And if I can take my mindset and focus more on solutions than I am the pain, then I know I'm going to have the advantage to get further. And I know that that is the key that I can take with me to unlock my pain, to unlock those things, and to stop avoiding them. So we have a question in the chat. Hi, Fitness World. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It says, how can it protect me if I feel like killing myself because crying every day and getting no sleep? Oh my gosh, blogging life for Sarah. I am so sorry that you're experiencing this, and I want to send you so much love and light. And I see you say you can't talk about it to anyone because you have no friends. Your Nana recently died, and you were very close, and you haven't gotten any sleep since she died. And I just sit there in the dark and cry and cry and cry. Sarah, this experience that you're having. Are you still there? If you're still there and you're still on, um, put something in the chat so I can see you, because I really want to make sure that I'm speaking to you directly and that you're still on and that you hear me. Thank you. Thank you. So, how long ago was it that your Nana died? One of the first things that I do want to tell you is that 2 months ago, okay. Um, can I ask, are you over the age of 18? Are you under the age of 18? Okay. Um, so you're in high school, would that be right? Okay. With your grandmother passing away, is there anybody else, your mom, dad, cousins, is there anybody there? I know you said you can't talk to anybody, but is there anybody that you think is going through the same grief that you're going through or experiencing pain because of the passing of your Nana? Okay, your whole family cries. Has anybody talked about going to therapy or getting help for just going through the pain of what's been going on in your family? We can't afford it. Okay. The first thing that I want to tell you is that you're not alone. So, experiencing grief is a very real thing. And it is something that, for me, um, I have experienced so many times. And the thing is, and I know this may sound, um, it's not a solution because there's not a solution once we lose somebody, right? They are physically gone from us. But I want you to know that the love, the feelings, the happiness that I am sure that your Nana made you feel. I'm just assuming with your whole family going through this painful experience with her loss, that she may have been kind of like the glue that holds you all together, that made everybody feel comfortable and loved and seen and felt and heard. But I do want you to know that all of the memories that you have, all of the things that she shared with you, all of the hugs, the feelings, all of those things, like, they're not gone. I know that she's not here anymore, but if you can tap in to those happy feelings, to the love, to all of those things that she provided you all, it will help give you comfort. It does not take away the loss, but it will provide you comfort. I do want to be able to provide you some resources. Um, Sarah, I want you, have you called the suicide prevention line? Because these are free resources that can really, really help you. There are therapists that you can go to for free. Okay, so the suicide prevention hotline, I want you to call. You can call. It's 3 digits, and you call 988. They will talk with you. They will talk with you immediately. They will provide you resources for help. They will tell you where in your community you can get resources for you and your whole family to help you with this time in your life. I also want to tell you that the thoughts that you may be having for ending your life and feeling suicidal and going through that, that's not abnormal. When we are experiencing that level of pain, we just want to get out of the pain. That's why I was just saying about the things that we experience in life. Those things are temporary, even though in the midst of it, it feels like it's never going to go away. But it will go away at some point. It's just, how do we get from where we are in the present to where we're going? And that is this middle part, this area that you're in right now. Every single emotion, every feeling that you're experiencing is totally normal. I don't want you to feel shame or judge yourself for crying or feeling the pain, anger. You may laugh, smile, like all of that is okay. It is a process. Going through grief is a process. There are stages of grief. And I applaud you, like, just for reaching out here and sharing this with us and being brave enough, especially at your age, to talk about your emotions, to talk about your feelings. But I really want you to call 988. I want you to be able to get some resources and to get help, because you do not have to face this alone. No one in your family does, and there really are resources out here to help you. Do you understand what I'm saying in terms of calling 988 and getting resources? Do you think this is something that you're able to do? Okay, great, great, great. I am so happy to hear that. Um, do you have Instagram? Okay, you only have YouTube. Okay. I want you to send me a message on YouTube. Um, do you have any other social media handle that I could message you other than YouTube? Do you have Facebook by any chance? Okay. I want you to message me on YouTube, and I will send you some more resources as well. And you can message me on here on once the live ends. It'll be recorded and it will go up, and you can go ahead and send me a message and I will respond. Also, in my description, the suicide prevention hotline is on here as well, so you can read that and you can go directly there. I believe the link is on there. So I want you to make sure that you get that resource before I end the live. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sarah. Um, for anyone, for anyone that is struggling with depression, for anyone that is struggling with suicide, please reach out to the Suicide Prevention Hotline. It is a fantastic resource. You have counselors, you have people that get on the phone with you right away and talk to you. They provide resources for you for your local crisis line, provide resources for therapy, for groups, for all kinds of things in your community and area. I just don't want you to think that you're alone, or think that because you don't have, the money or the resources or insurance or whatever it is, that you have to sit in pain and suffer, because we have to talk about the things that we experience. Sarah, my heart goes out to you so much. I went through an experience when I was 19 where I actually attempted to commit suicide. So I just want to tell you, I know what it feels like, and I know that you don't have to go that far. But I do want to tell you that I hear you and I understand you. And thank you so much for trusting me and reaching out to get help, because it means a lot to me. And for you is just showing that you love yourself, that you want help, that you're asking for help for you and your family. So I really want to just tell you how courageous you are to have done that online and to ask for help. Um, she's not avoiding. She's She may be younger in age, but something in her spirit tells her that she can't avoid this, that she can't avoid these emotional things anymore, which will serve her as being an adult to know that she can't avoid these emotions, that she's going to have to heal from it. Yes, like I said, avoidance can protect us in so many ways, but we cannot continue to avoid the things that happen in our lives because they will snowball and they will come out in ways that do not serve us, in behaviors. They'll come out in depression, they'll come out in anxiety, they'll come out in the way that we foster and the way that we communicate and have our relationships. So I want to send everybody a huge abundance of light and love, especially at this time. I know there is a lot going on in our world, but I want you to stay focused on you, paying attention to you, healing yourself, help healing your family and the people that you love and that are connected to you. And remember that you are your greatest value. You are your greatest asset. Take care.